Welcome to the Costa Property Podcast, the podcast that turns your dreams of owning a piece of paradise on the Costa del Sol into reality. I'm Warner Laurie, and I'm joined by my co-host and wife, Sandra Laurie.
Join us as we embark on navigating the ins and outs of real estate and relocation to this beautiful region.
We're not just about market trends, we're about sharing real-life experiences, because we know the struggle firsthand, and I've helped many people navigate this challenge also.
If you're dreaming of your perfect Costa del Sol home and want to get real, no-frills, expert advice, then you're absolutely in the right place. Join us each week as we share honest insights and information that will guide your journey. So you may or you may not have seen the headlines that the golden visa is to be abolished. Sure, it's enough to make anybody's head spin, but what's really going on and what does it mean for you if you wanted to apply for the golden visa this year? Now that's what we're diving into today, and I'm delighted to welcome back Regina Martín Gonzalez, our resident solicitor from Benamadna Lawyers, to help us to really get the facts straight. So by the end of this episode, you'll feel a whole lot clearer and maybe even a little bit excited about what's coming next. When I first heard the whispers about this, I thought, oh, there goes another big change. Something else to keep us all on our toes. But the more I've learned, the more I've realised that change isn't actually always a bad thing. It's just a different way of thinking about things. And today we're going to talk through what actually this means and what this means for you if you were planning on applying for your golden visa in 2025. But first things first, as usual, our first stop of the day is our Spanish word of the day. And today's word is the Spanish word for lawyer. It's abogado. It's a handy one to know if you're navigating the ins and outs of visas and property laws as part of your big dream to move to the Costa del Sol. Let's jump into today's episode.
Now, many of you will remember Regina Martín Gonzalez from the previous episode of the Costa Property Podcast. Regina is a Spanish solicitor who's providing expert conveyance and property law services here in the Costa del Sol since 1992. She is an absolute expert when it comes to navigating the legalities of purchasing or selling a property in Spain. For us, Regina is the go-to person for anything when the law changes in Spain. It is a pleasure, Regina, to have you on the show again, and how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So today we're going to be talking about everything golden visa. I know we touched on this in July when the announcement came that they were going to abolish the golden visa. And now we're in early January. We now have confirmation that the golden visa will be terminated in the 3rd of April 2025. So we just wanted to get you on the show again, just to have your overview of it and what this means for people looking to access the golden visa for the future.
It is true that the golden visa will terminate, the program of golden visa will terminate on the 3rd of April 2025. It is true that from that date on, we will not be able to request to apply for new visas, but up till that day, we are still applying for visas. So we still have time to apply for this kind of visa. In fact, I was just granted one last week without any kind of effort, simply ABCD, the papers were there. If you are thinking about getting this kind of visa, and you can invest 500,000 euros in a property, you need to tell your lawyer that you are intending to apply for this visa so that the timing is perfect. Because we lawyers are used to preparing both cases together, the purchase and the golden visa. So that while we are checking the property and doing the due diligence so that the property you're going to acquire is okay. At the same time, we are requesting you to prepare the documents needed so that the day that you buy the property, immediately we apply for the golden visa. And this is a very straightforward thing to do. There are several points. If you have them, you got it. There is no trick about it. It's easy and it gives you a lot of benefits, which will terminate on the 3rd of April for those that have not applied. The people that have already applied before that date, even if they have not been granted the golden visa yet, will get it. They will be considered as if the law had not changed for them, right? That is one thing. People that have the golden visa, the resident card of investor, and they think that they will be needing to renew, they will be able to renew because they have done it before this program was off, and this program will always be with them as long as you keep the investment. For instance, if you bought a property, a villa, you shouldn't sell that villa while you have this golden visa, at least until you apply again for your renovation. Anyhow, even if golden visas are very nice, very comfortable for people that can invest an amount of money, there are many other kinds of visas that you can get in order to live permanently in Spain or part-time in Spain without to think about the 90, 180-day rule, right? Which is absurd. We humans are not used to that kind of counting all the time. You have the student visa that you can get up till you are 100 years old in order to learn Spanish, for instance. You can get the non-lucrative visa. You can get a visa for digital nomads. There are many kinds of documents that you can apply. The only thing about golden visa was, or is still, that it is the simplicity of the system. And also that you can choose between living all the time in Spain and becoming a tax resident in Spain, or simply coming wherever you want and keep your tax residency wherever you come from. So it gives you the freedom to go around the Schengen area without any tax implications. So this finishing doesn't mean that you don't have other means to organize yourself here in Spain. And you are absolutely welcome.
I just want to ask you, why do you think the golden visa was such a popular option for people moving to Spain?
Because of the simplicity. You simply, in case you had the opportunity to invest 500,000 euros in a property without a mortgage, you will be able to simply have a card, a residence card with your photo on it, that is like a passport, an European passport. You can travel around with that passport. You can go in and out the Schengen area to France, to Germany, to Spain, without needing to remember to get any kind of visas, without thinking about rules of 90, 180 days. You are completely free to move. And you only need to show your card, and that is it. And also, it didn't have tax implication, and at least you will be able to control your tax implications, which in other visas, you don't have such a control of your tax implications. If you get a resident visa, you should be in Spain more than 6 months a year, and you should pay as a resident your taxes in Spain, in principle, at least from the second year onwards. While with this visa, you simply continue with your life, with your businesses.
And when the golden visa gets abolished on the 3rd of April 2025, is there still another pathway for people looking to relocate or move to Spain?
People have been moving to Spain since the Romans, always. And of course, and no one had the golden visa before 2013. This was only used by people that came from distant countries and that had no other way to organize their documents. It's only recent that some people like Americans, Canadians, and English people are interested in doing it. But always we have had people coming without any kind of problem. You just need to go to a bar and look around what is the multiple nationalities around you, right? And this was only used by a minimal part of investors. Many people didn't need it or didn't want to have it. So you can still come to Spain if you are British, for instance, or if you are from Canada. You need to think about your 90, 180 days in order to organize your matters. But there are other ways to organize yourself if you want to be here the whole year. The non-lucrative visa, it's easy to get also. It's true you need to organize it differently. The protocols are different, but still they are easy protocols. You need to show, again, your income. It's almost the same paperwork you need, and you will be able to become a resident in Spain and stay here as long as you want. There are nomad digitals that have good solutions for taxes also, and there are many other kind of visas that you can use and apply. And the one I always like is the student visa, because you can become a student, for instance, for cooking, or a student for Spanish or whatever in any academy in the area. And by doing so, you become a student. Even if you are 90 years old, you can study. No one says you cannot study. And then you get a residency for you and your family for studying. That visa is very easy. While you are using it, you then reapply to study the second year, and you go on thinking if you really like it and you want to have a permanent visa or not.
And for anyone listening today who is considering applying for the Golden Visa, what should they do now? Is there any other things they need to do?
Okay, if you are already buying a property and you are thinking about applying for the Golden Visa, please check your passport. Make sure you don't come more than 90 days into Spain. They will check the stamps in your passport, and you need to be legal in Spain to apply for it. Therefore, please make sure that you respect the 180 days in order to be able to apply for the Golden Visa. Also, you will need to have a medical insurance. That is easy. We are doing it all the time. Many insurances are available. And the idea is that you don't cost money to the Spanish Social Security because you have your own insurance. That you can do in 24 hours. Then, yes, you need to apply in the place where you have lived the last 5 years. You need to apply for your criminal record certificate, and that is really important. It takes 2 or 3 weeks to get it sometimes. So if you apply before buying the property, you already have it when you are going to apply. So one thing to remember, apply for your criminal record certificate already. That will need to get an apostille. That is something that you can look up in internet. An apostille is a international stamp that validates internationally any document from any country, right? Therefore, it will show that the document you're bringing is a real document. You will need to prove your economic means, your way of your income, so that you show that you have money enough to keep yourself in Spain, you and your family. So you will be able to make a bank statement or a bank certificate in order to show how much money you have in your bank. And for the children and for your spouse, your partner, remember to start preparing the certificates of birth, the certificates of marriage certificates, right? Because they need to have an apostille and they need to be translated. So, homework, passport, perfect, clean, and legal. Criminal record, request for it. Certificate of marriage, have it in hand, original. It needs to have an apostille, and it needs to be translated. You need to have it. The apostille and the certificate needs to be less than 3 months old. You need to have a new one, a brand new one. You need to get it. Birth certificates of the children also. They cannot be old. You need to get one renewed now in order to apply in March. So apply for your birth certificate, for your marriage certificate, and for your criminal record. The rest can continue to be prepared and is less time-consuming, so to say. Having those, you have almost everything you need in order to do it.
So what I'm hearing loud and clear is if you're really interested in it, then you need to submit those applications now. You need to speak to an expert like Regina so that they can direct you from A to Z how to apply before the time runs out the 3rd of April 2025. If you missed that golden visa opportunity, then remember, Spain is still open. You just have to apply for a different type of visa. This may take a bit more time, but on the plus side, you won't have to fork out €500,000 to buy property. So this could be a win-win situation for yourself.
Of course, people can ask their lawyers about the different possibilities they have. There are many of them. Spain is an open country. We live on tourism and on residential tourism. So we are super happy to have anyone coming here, getting a property and living in it. And we lawyers are here to help and to go together with you through all the process, not only to buy a property, to do a due diligence and to see you as a number, but to see you as a person, to think about what are your needs, if you have children that need schooling, if your parents need to come together along with you. We need to see the global picture of the person and then see what is the best residency, paperwork, thing that will suit you best. Also, tax-wise, you need to think what is the best to organize your residency so that your taxes are under your control and that you are doing what you really want to do.
That's amazing information. Hopefully now all our guests are updated in the golden visa application and also when it will be abolished. Remember the date, 3rd of April 2025. But if you missed that opportunity, do not worry. Spain's doors are opened and there's different types of visas that you can apply for. All you need to do is find an expert like Regina and make sure you go through the proper process.
That's it. It's an opportunity. It's like an opportunity for this little door that is still opened. There are many other doors. You can always come. But if you are going to invest more than €500,000, think about it and do it fast. And also think about organizing everything together so that you do it before the end of March. That's it.
Thank you, as always, Regina, for clarifying the golden visa application. I know that we jumped on this very quickly because time is ticking away. If you're thinking about applying for the golden visa and you have €500,000 to spend, then now is the time to do it. You need to get that application in before they abolish the golden visa in April 2025. For anybody that is interested in more information or wants to contact Regina personally, we're going to put all the information in the show notes. And if anybody's interested to speak more about the golden visa, when the time is ticking away, remember the date, April 2025, the golden visa is gone. Thank you once again, Regina, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you to you. Thank you to you. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening into today's episode on the Costa Property Podcast. Another fantastic episode learning about the highs and lows of relocating to the Costa del Sol from real people who have been through the journey themselves and, of course, our wonderful experts. If you have been enjoying the show so far, remember to hit subscribe to the podcast and leave a rating or review.
We absolutely love hearing your thoughts. Please send any questions that you would like us to answer on the show to warner@wlcostaproperties.net, or you can pop us a message on our socials, which are in the show notes. Remember, you can also visit the website www.wlcostaproperties.net.
See you on the next episode, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.